I have since come up with a rule, and that is I don't do business with friends and family
Oh,
unless
okay.
they ask me first.
You found the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. Welcome. Thanks for joining us for the Business Marketing Podcast. Today we're with Gary. And one of the things I love about Gary is he's got a very small niche community. So he's got to be very creative on how he reaches more people and enjoys his beautiful home in a really small waterfront community. So Gary, can you talk to the audience about who you are, what you do, and how you want them to view you in this episode?
Absolutely. So, Gary Darley, I live in like I said, a very small farming community in north central Washington State, and we were fortunate enough to be able to get some property right on the river. So, we love the area. It does make it challenging to find people to work with in the financial world, just because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of us out here. So, but I help successful healthcare professionals and business owners build financial systems that still work when real life happens. I'm into the anti-fragile. We need to make something that when the market crashes, you're still okay.
That's great.
Is my big thing.
That is awesome. That's really cool. And from your perspective and your setting, this will make for some really interesting answers to your questions. So I'm excited about this. So, are you ready for the questions?
I'm ready.
All right. Number one thing, what do you love most about your job?
I love it when the light bulb goes on. I love it when you're talking to somebody, and especially my little community. There's an awful lot of I don't trust banks. I bury it in the backyard, kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I get it. I really do. I understand that there's some systemic issues out there, but it is the system that we live in. And if you're savvy about it, you can really leverage that system to your advantage. And
Yeah.
that's what wealthy people do. They leverage the system to their advantage. So I love it when the light bulb goes on and people realize that, hey, I can do something with my money that is actually going to benefit me without me actually having to go dig more post holes.
That is
Because it's a lot
awesome.
of what we do out here in the ranching and, orchard areas.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I'm sure you do also help people with like their children's funds and
absolutely.
education and that kind of stuff as well. So,
Yep.
how do those discussions look? Because some of those kids don't stick around small communities, right? They sometimes spread out and go other places. So, I'm sure you have those talks too.
Yeah. Lots and lots of kids from this area go somewhere else, they build their careers, and then they find that they miss the rural life and they come
Yeah.
back. So there's a
Okay.
lot of that. So there's lots of looking at ways to fund college or trade school or
Yeah.
business startups or whatever it might be. There's a pretty entrepreneurial spirit out here. Lots of folks who just figure it out, and we help them get that set up and in place as well. So
Yeah.
I don't actually do lending, but I have a bunch of guys that I have worked with who I'm pretty impressed with. A lot of lenders are kind of like used car salesmen, and I found some guys that are pretty on point and very honest. I like working with them, so we'll help folks get set up that way as well.
That is the beauty of the little cultures is like there's not a lot of room to be a salesman. Like there's not a lot of room to be like that slimy salesman. Like people figure it out really fast. And so you have to be honest because that's the only way you're gonna make it. So that
Yeah.
is the cool part about where you are.
Yep.
So let's talk about the year one because you've had to figure that out the hard way. Like the tight knit community, not a lot of people. Look back to year one and talk about something that makes you cringe now, looking back at like how you did things year one.
So my background is in nursing. I was a cardiac nurse for a long, long time. And I shifted over to finance because we went rural. You can't do cardiac OR in a town that's 1,500 people or less. They just don't put ORs in those kind of places.
Yeah.
So I shifted over to finance. I already did it myself. I love doing it. Um, but the guidance that I got from the very first group that I started working with was you tap into your warm market. So go talk to your friends and family. And I didn't really know what I was doing yet. Um, and it just felt wrong
Yeah.
talking to these guys and trying to convince them to do business with me. And I have since come up with a rule, and that is I don't do business with friends and family
Oh,
unless
okay.
they ask me first.
Oh, that is
So
cool.
I'm
I like
happy to
that.
work with you, but you have to ask me. I don't ask you.
Oh, well, how many people are asking you then? How often do friends and family come to you?
I'm 2 years into this now, and it's just starting to be a thing that people are more like, all right, he's still doing it. He's got some knowledge under his belt
Yeah.
now. And they'll ask me, like, what would you do in this situation?
Yes. They ask you, like, they start poking and prodding, right? They start asking you questions about their finance, and then they just kind of feel you out a little bit. Is that how it works?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they
Yeah.
were used to asking me about heart health, like, I got chest pain. What should I do? And now they're starting to ask me about, hey, my kid's going to college in 4 years. How do I prepare? You know.
Oh, that's interesting. So is it like you would call them, but now is it like family reunions and meetings and picnics and stuff? Is that kind of where you're getting a lot of the friends and family? Where are you getting most of the people you're talking to right now, actually? Let's do that. A quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
So friends and family, I typically run into people different places in town, and they'll just say, hey, I've been meaning to call you.
Oh, got
So
it.
grocery store, hardware store, um, taking the dogs for a walk. There's a couple of parks where you can run the dogs around and people kind of conglomerate. So that's typically where I run into people and they say, hey, I've been meaning to talk to you. Are you still doing that finance thing?
Yeah. Are you still doing that finance thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so let's talk about that branding, because I know firsthand too, shifting from one profession to another profession is not easy, especially since, like you referred to, people see you as one thing, and then making that shift's not easy. So how did you go about doing that? How did you make that brand shift?
So, from a nursing standpoint, you don't have to market. You don't have to have
Yeah,
a brand. When people are having chest pain, they just come to the hospital, right? So it was a learning curve, and what I ended up doing was I hired myself a marketing coach. I
Oh,
hired
okay.
somebody who knew what they were doing, understood how to present, because I had no idea what I was doing, not a clue.
Yeah.
Like I was very much in a teaching mode in the nursing world where I would teach family, teach patients, how do you care for yourself after? How do you keep this from happening again? And I did the exact same thing in finance. And it didn't, I mean, people's eyes glazed over and like, oh God, he's talking to me about charts and numbers. I think I'm going to have a stroke and die. So it
Yeah.
was learning how to present the information in a way that piqued interest. Um, it's not deceptive at all. It's just how do you make it interesting so that you're not looking at charts and graphs and a whole line of numbers and watching people's eyes roll back in their head. And it was really I hired a marketing coach who was helping me to get through all that. And I still use her.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, is it because did you change a lot of like your online presence? Was it like more face to face? Like, what did it look like in regards to practice?
It's all on the online presence piece.
Okay.
So LinkedIn profile, my website's not live yet, but she's helping me build a website. Um, how do you write copy that actually connects with people and
Yeah.
actually makes emotional sense and logical sense to someone who doesn't geek out about the spreadsheet like I do.
That is the tough part. We all get so excited about our content that it
Right.
becomes mundane, and everybody else just is like, yeah, whatever, numbers guy.
Right.
All right, so let's continue on that same thread and talk about what is one thing that's really working for you with your marketing.
So the online networking has become a huge thing for me.
Okay.
And I go to quite a few events and I have made some really, really cool connections. You were one of the people I met through a
That's
networking.
right. That's right.
So,
That's right. A friend of a friend of a friend. That's how it went
right,
down.
right.
Yep.
Um, but that's been huge for me in learning how to make those connections remotely. And I'm now connected to folks all across the country, do business with
That's
people
awesome.
anywhere in the States except New York. Sorry, New Yorkers, I'll refer you to a really solid person there. But your licensing's a pain. So I work everywhere but New York. And
That's
it's
awesome.
it's all been through the online networking, and I'm starting to branch into more of the social media
Yeah.
advertising and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
kind of stuff too. Did you
Yeah.
want to do any networking group shout outs to give any shout outs, or do you like want to keep that on the low, keep it to yourself?
There's one networking group that I go to religiously every week. It's actually this evening,
Okay.
and it's called the Business Incubator, the Old Woods
Okay.
Business Incubator, and you can find it on Eventbrite. Abby, who founded it, um, has become quite the friend, and there's a core group of people there that I would even include as like a quasi advisory board. We just help each
Oh,
other
that's
out
cool.
quite a bit.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll have to look into that one too. So when you, and folks, if you jump on that one, make sure you give Gary credit. Make sure you- I have it this in the same vein. What is something in marketing that is not working, or like that tried it, just not my thing?
So beyond the friends and family, make
Yeah,
people
beyond.
cringe
Yeah,
because they see you
yeah,
coming, like, oh God, he's
yeah.
going to
That's
try and
right.
sell me something.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
the next thing that my initial company told me to do was just get out there, knock on doors, and talk to people.
Mm,
So this was one of those things that I had to like talk myself into doing every day, but I did it. I
yeah,
actually met some cool people and got some cool clients that way, but it was a lot of driving. It was a lot of door knocking. It was a lot of
yeah,
um, go away, and uh, there was a lot of, "Are you an IRS auditor?" Like,
yeah.
no, I'm
No.
here to help you retire.
Well, you're in an area too, where the houses are probably pretty spread out, so it's not as easy because I'm sure there's like some distance between the houses and stuff too. So that's
there's
probably an added layer.
there's quite a bit of distance. I mean, there's a couple concentrations of people here and there,
Yeah,
but for the most part, we're looking at small to very large ranches. So maybe
yeah.
20 or 40 acres on up to thousands of acres of ranch land and orchards. So
That's amazing. Well, let's talk about more about your community. So let's say you said you bump into people, you go to the dog park and you do stuff, and you bump into community members. But how are you getting yourself known? What kind of how are you? And I don't like the word leveraging, but how are you making yourself more familiarized in that community? What are some things that are working for you?
I joined the local chamber and do some of those events. I help do some of the financial coaching for the local Future Business Leaders of America.
Oh, that's a good one.
So it's really cool to take those high school kids that have an entrepreneurial spirit and kind of direct them towards, this is how money can work. This is how you can make that money work for you. Um, and I really emphasize a savings first cash flow system for people who are starting out or who are just getting started in their savings world. And you take the mindset and you flip it from, all my money goes into my checking account, which is your spending account, and you put it into something that has a very stable yield. It's not going to be super high, but you want something that has a very stable yield, 2 to 3%. And then you pay yourself a salary out of that. So you're flipping the paradigm so that the money that you're paying yourself is thought about, it's calculated, it will meet your needs and the fun stuff that you want to do, but you're automatically saving in the background,
That's pretty
and
cool.
that creates that capital that you can then do something with, something real.
Mhm.
You know,
Like buy a farm on the river and start
it,
your own financial.
exactly, exactly.
All right, so I have a practice issue, so or question. So when I bump into people and they're like, "Hey, I've been meaning to call you," a lot of times I don't remember to make that call. Like, do you have anything that you do or any strategies to you actually follow up with those people so that way the call is made? Because I leave a lot of deals on the table just by memory. Do you have any tips for me?
Um, I typically carry a little notebook with me now,
Oh, okay.
and I will actually physically jot it down, just because I'm old school, and
Mhm.
then um, I can enter it into my CRM and set an automatic task to remind me to, hey, don't forget to call Susie or Bob or whoever. Um, Otherwise, yeah, it gets lost. And if I am not in a place where I can do that, I actually just email myself. I just write,
Oh,
I just
there you
write
go.
myself a little email and send it um,
As a reminder.
as a
Yeah, that's what
reminder.
I got to do. Yeah,
It,
the email, that's a good tip. I'm gonna do that one. I always leave too many deals on the table. You bump into people at the grocery store and stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, I always do that. All right, that's good. Awesome. So let's talk about something that is boring, monotonous in your marketing, but it really moves the needle that people may not expect. Something that's, you know, every day.
The boring, monotonous stuff in the marketing,
Yeah,
um, it it's honestly the follow up
that's
because
good stuff.
it's the um, you read something that I wrote, you reached out, and then I have to follow up, and then I have to follow up again, and then I have to follow up again, and then I have to follow up again. I
Yes.
mean, I forget what the numbers are, but it's something like 7 to 12 follow ups, five,
Yep. Yeah,
something
it's
like
five,
that,
five, five. Yep.
that you
Between 5 and 8.
before somebody actually gets back to you. And
Yeah.
and sometimes that can be a little bit discouraging. Like I've tried to call this guy 7 times, and you know, so that's the monotonous part that's hard. But if you don't do it, um, the business doesn't move forward.
Do
You're,
you mix up your messages, or do you like have that same message over and over again? And I'm sure when you do it, you don't say, "Hey, man, I've been trying to call you," because then people get annoyed. What kind of messaging do you mix up with that follow up?
are you familiar with a gentleman named Dean Jackson?
No, I'm
That
not.
name ring a bell? He's a marketing guy.
Okay.
Podcast. He has More Cheese, Less Whiskers is his podcast, and he co-podcasts with Joe Polish on I Love Marketing. He came up with this thing he calls the 9-word email, and it's not actually 9 words. It's just the thought that keep it
Sure.
simple.
Yeah.
And one of the formats he uses is pretty direct, pretty short. Hey, are you still interested in creating a college account for your kid?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all
Just
I
keep it
send.
short.
That's the voicemail. That's the email. That's the text message. Whatever the route is, it's just very short. It's very, hey, are you still interested? And I try not to be overly obnoxious. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to call you 7 times in 7 days.
Yeah.
I'll call you once or twice the week after, and then I'll call you maybe the next week or 2 weeks, and then we'll space it out a little bit. Is
Yeah.
if it was a high urgency problem for you, you would have got right back to me.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff is not super high urgency. It just becomes high urgency when you didn't get it done, and it's time to have it there.
Yeah. 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 I'm sure you bump into enough people in your world where they're like, "Hey, I meant to retire, or I need to retire, or I didn't save anything," and then you're like, "Well, you should have called me 3 years ago. Should have called me 5 years ago." But yeah.
So
Yep.
I had a teacher. She was 62. She wanted to retire at 65. She had saved $50,000.
Yeah.
She
Higher than
wanted
zero.
$100,000 in income a year, and she wanted me to make it happen.
You're like, if I could do that, I'd do it for myself.
Right? And I wish that I could. I wish that I could,
Yeah.
but this stuff takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time for the compounding. Could we make you retire with $100,000 a year? Sure, if you've got $1 million a year coming in somewhere else. You may
Yeah.
not need me at
Yeah.
that point, but
Oh, they'll be hustling around making that $1 million. They'll need you more than ever, actually.
right,
Those are the
right.
ones. All right. So before we get to where people can get a hold of you and get more information, let's do the last question, which I always find really fun with people is name and talk about something that you really just hate paying for.
Parking.
Parking?
I
You're
drive
in the
to
farm.
events.
How do you
I
Oh,
drive
driving
to
to
events.
events. Got it.
So the major metropolitan areas are anywhere from 3 to 6 hours away from me,
Yeah.
and you go to an event, you go whatever it might be. I hate paying for parking. It's like personal peeve. I have been known to park a long way away just to avoid the parking fee. My wife hates it.
Well, it's good exercise.
It's good
Parking
exercise.
farther away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
No,
my goodness.
that's I hate paying for parking. I don't
There can't be
mind.
too much paying for parking in like your little town, though, right?
No,
There's none of that. Nah, that's
no,
yeah.
no, none of that. But when you have to go places for events, um, lots of times there's paid parking involved. So,
Where are some of your favorite event locations?
um, so I don't. I live about 4 hours away from Spokane
Okay.
and Yakima, and there's some pretty cool areas. There's some pretty cool landscapes. Um, and they're kind of fun to go to. I would love to be able to make some of the events in Florida. I lived there for about 5 years, and I love going
Yeah.
back. So, and it hasn't been on the agenda the last couple of years, but I would love to make some of the events in
Yeah.
kind of that Palm Beach,
Palm
Miami.
Beach has got paid parking though. Lots of paid parking in Palm Beach.
It does. It does. I'll just have to suck it up.
Suck it up. You couldn't get farther away from the Spokane to Florida. That's what 5 hour plane ride. What is the plane ride from that? That's a long one.
Yeah, 5 or 6 hours, something like that.
It's about as far as you can get in America.
I was Army at one point in time, and I was stationed there in the South, and then got moved to Washington State at one point. That's how I went from one side to the other. But.
Gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't get too much farther away than Florida and Washington State. So, all right, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the stories, and I love your community and how you're making it work with such a small group of people. It's not easy, and there's a lot of listeners in small communities that are trying to find ways like you to grow out their marketing and build businesses that they need to make more connections. So this has been very helpful. How can people get more information from you or even follow some of your content?
You can follow me on LinkedIn, Gary Darley. If you Google me, I'll be there. And otherwise, email is the best way to get a hold of me. Perfect. And it's Gary, Gary.Darley, Darley, at allegisfp.com, allegisfp.com.
Awesome. And we'll throw that in the show notes as well, unless you see him out at the dog park, and then he'll just write your name down. So that's the other easiest way to get an appointment with him, is
right?
Just do that. And he'll follow up 7 times with his quick 9-word email. So that's what's going to happen. So set your expectations there. So.
Yep.
All right, Gary, thank you for your time and all this information. I love hearing stories from people in big cities, little cities, and how they're making it work. So this has been very helpful, and I appreciate your time today.
I appreciate you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
And if authentic, practical marketing resonates with you, be sure to visit livelocalwarmmarketing.com and learn to grow your business on Warm Marketing Referrals.